Okay. Wow. This chapter pretty hype, pretty insanely hype. I don't even really know where to begin because got to see three of my favorite characters. We get to see Marco finally, being a doctor, um, which makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Considering his Phoenix powers, but we've never like really like seen confirmation of him like being a like the Whitebeard Pirates doctor. Then we see Robin, Geisha Robin. Whew, man. Yeah, she is looking. It's funny. Like she's the most like I saw this on Reddit. Someone said that she's the most clothed that she's ever been, but she's also like the hottest she's ever been, which fully agree. Looking mighty fine. And then we see Rowan Horizoro looking like a oh dude that didn't even go in. Yeah, this is a pretty crappy sword. But we see Zoro, and yeah, they're talking about trying to kill this man, have him kill himself, be an honorable samurai. But we know Zoro's not going to go like that. Yeah. Okay. So I'll start talking about it. This chapter 909, in a more linear fashion. You know what? No, let me start with this. So we have cut away officially from the reverie. Um, I am not sure if this is going to be one of those things where the reverie is just done. Um, and we'll learn more information like as the arcs continue. Like we'll get like little tiny pieces and stuff, and like maybe like through the world news or something like that, the Economic Times. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be like I'm rereading Jaya like Skypiea, and I just finished up Jaya, all that stuff. And in it, during Jaya, there's a segment where it cuts away from the main story to focus on stuff that's going on around the world. Like we go to Buggy, and Buggy meets Ace. We go to Mary Joa, and we see like Doflamingo and Kuma arriving to have this like meeting, and like Shanks meets Whitebeard. All these little things happening around the world. Like so, maybe this Wano stuff right now is that cut away from um, the Reverie, and like they can we'll like next chapter or like two chapters from now we'll go back and we'll see like just some of the threads be like the loose ends being tied up by Oda in the Reverie. Like the biggest one is seeing the revolutionaries declare war on the celestial dragons. Um, I just feel like there was an awkward moment to end the Reverie. Like there's just there's some stuff that I'm okay with them waiting, to tell us, like maybe like certain like discussions and stuff like that. But a declaration like that, I would like to, I'd like to see, and see what happens with Kuma and all that stuff. Like, yeah, there's just like a lot that I feel like could be talked about. So anyway, now we present day, present time. While the reverie is going on, we are the Mink tribe led by Nekomamushi is at Whitebeard's home village, his where he grew up in the New World. Um, Nekomamushi's ship is pretty cool. I like the mink ship. I like how it has the elephant head for like Zoe, and it has like the pineapple, um, like little stuff on the masts, and it has like the main cabin. It looks like there's like this little pineapple thing. I thought that was a cool little detail, and we get another little trivia thing for who Marco is and who the Whitebeard Pirates were, which again I think is just like wasted panel space. But because if you did pick up One Piece, like if you didn't read all One Piece, one you're dumb. Go back and read One Piece. Go read all of it. Like I don't even care if I'm offending people. Like you are you're not living life to the fullest extent if you haven't read all of One Piece. That's fact. Um, but if you did pick up, I know there's some people who oddly enough like picked up One Piece like during the the Marineford War, and if you did that, then like you should know who Marco is, who Whitebeard is, like because they were like pretty much the main characters of that arc. Either way, so we cut over, and Nekomamushi is talking with Marco in this little village, and during my live reaction, I immediately thought of in Full Metal Alchemist. There is the doctor who worked on the Philosopher's Stones, and he ended up fleeing from the government and just like is secluded away to like a small village and is healing people, and that's pretty much what Marco is doing. And in fact, like I didn't think of it during my review or my live reaction, but the doctor's name is Doctor Marco, which I think is like kind of funny, and I think it is like a trope, to have like a doctor like heal like like the people in the in like a really impoverished village and that kind of stuff. So we see Marco. He's healing one of those that like weird Sphinx thing that we saw in Impel Down. At first I thought it was the same exact one, but then we cut and we see that there's like a whole farm of them, of those little like Sphinx and stuff. They're just kind of like roaming around. So maybe this is like where they originate from. Either way, kind of cool world building detail, but doesn't really affect the main story. So Marco and Nekomamushi are talking, and Marco's able to heal all these people with his like Phoenix ability and stuff like that, which, like I said in the beginning, we've never really seen him do that. We saw him like do it to himself, which makes a lot of sense, but to be able to like heal some people is pretty OP. That he probably did that to Whitebeard throughout like the years and stuff like that. And makes me think if this is a ability that Oda just like kind of had all along that he could do, or if he just like thought like, okay, look, this would be a cool thing. But so this is like the village that Whitebeard grew up in. He kind of all like the treasures and all that stuff that he would collect over the years, he would send here to help this village like prosper. We see like a young Whitebeard, and they're talking about Nekomamushi and Marco are talking about how the Payback War, and this is what I found really interesting, was that Marco was saying that Blackbeard invaded, and that was the beginning of the Payback War. To me, I read it as like it wasn't Marco and the Whitebeard pirates like taking their forces and attacking Blackbeard as like payback. It was more they were like defending themselves. But I read this on Jiminy's box. It could be like a weird translation error. On Manga Stream it says, after the Summit War, we decided that we'd, at the very least, protect with all we have the things that were important to Pops. So we fought a war of repayment with the Blackbeard pirate, with any Blackbeard pirate that came calling. Yeah, so it kind of sounds like they were just like defending themselves in that Payback War, which is like a weird name to call that war. Then it's kind of misleading. But they talk about Weevil and and Bakken, Weevil's mom, searching for Whitebeard's inheritance and hunting down like all the former Whitebeard pirates. And Marco believes that sooner or later Bakken like used to be on the same ship as Whitebeard. She knows of this location, and will probably come after this area. And because of that, Marco doesn't think he can leave. I think this is like I think Marco is still going to show up at some point. Because why would you include Marco and not have him actually come? Like, what's the point of like having it besides like us learning this information, which regardless, like doesn't really mean that much in the grand scale of the story. Like knowing where Whitebeard is from, it doesn't matter. Like we could go the whole story without knowing like where Whitebeard's home island is. Like we don't need to know where Shanks grew up. Like that doesn't matter. Marco will show up at Wano. I think it's gonna be one of those things where he like shows up. The Straw Hats they had their back against the wall. Um, but another like cool little detail they added was that on this island is where Ace's grave and Whitebeard's grave is. Um, so I mean, Sabo knows about this island because Sabo is the one who like put the little cups there and like prayed there. But so anyway, it doesn't sound like Marco's gonna go, but I believe that he will. Then we cut to this beautiful, beautiful double page spread of Wano country, and we see this like traditional Japanese Chinese looking building on top of this like waterfall type tree that is just like it has like this crescent like arc to it. Um and we have this mountain in the background. Um this like really tall mountain with like a snowy peak. This like tower to the right of it. Um and in the very front of like this tree waterfall thing is like it looks like these massive gates. So obviously I'm guessing that the building on top of the tree is probably like the shogun's palace, and it's kind of interesting that it has like the two arcs, um which whenever we saw like a shadowy figure of like whenever we cut to like Kaido or anything like that. It always showed like this shadowy figure with that little like two like horn thing. So like people thought like, okay, this is just Kaido's silhouette, because of like the way the horns wrapped in. Like we see that Kaido has horns, but it looks like that this is just like maybe those shadowy figures were just like the silhouette of this building, in the background. So maybe like Kaido's forces are at the base of Wano because it looks like so there's like this city at the very bottom, and then it kind of looks like that there's like mountains kind of surrounding the city of Wano, like kind of encapsulating it in. So maybe there's like a base to Wano country where like the borders are super secured, like that's where like the samurai forces are, like the Kaido pirates are there, like stuff like that. That's where Drake is hanging out. But yeah, either way, this looks really interesting. Really excited, and we see that the Straw Hats have been, you know, trying to blend in to Wano because Kinemon's like whole plan was that they are not strong enough to attack the new shogun of Wano, and Kaido's forces. Like we need to kind of build up like this rebellion, like behind the scenes. So, he tells Frankie, Usopp, Zoro, and Robin, like, okay, guys, like we need to just like blend in. We need to, make as little as like a impression on people and like stand out, like as possible. Like we can't like be over the top or anything. So we see that Frankie is he's a carpenter. He's going by Frenosku. I don't know. We see that Usopp is selling toad oil, and obviously it's a play off of like snake oil, because like there's some trick here, probably something like with his plants, that he's able, because he cuts his arm and then like puts the oil on and then it's healed, all that stuff. He's going by Usohachi. Um, so he's got like a beard, all that stuff. Now we get to this page of Robin, and this is where people are kind of freaking out. So Robin she's undercover as a geisha, and this is like the one thing that I think is the most important job that the Straw Hats have, because we see that the woman in charge of Robin in this geisha thing is like, you have to drop your hips more, you have to like do this more properly, more ladylike, like, you know, do like the forms better, because if you don't, you'll never be called into the shogun's drawing room in such a short amount of time. What kind of performance is that? So Robin is obviously trying to like infiltrate the shogun's palace, which is like, it's sick, dude. Like, she's actually like doing something important, like not just blending in for the sake of blending in and killing time. She's actually trying to go behind the scenes, and yeah, like hopefully we get to see Robin actually do some stuff, like some old school Robin where she like all the limbs like come on, like she's taking down guards and like has a fight, all this stuff, like assassination Robin. That'd be cool. But yeah, she looks so just like, I don't know, girls in kimonos and the way the hair is back and all that stuff and the way that she's blushing. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. So she's going by Orabi, which I guess is in traditional Japan, it is common to add the O at the start of female names. So that's cool. So then cut to a little flashback of I'm assuming when they first arrived to Wano, when the whole group first arrived to Wano, and we see Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjuro, Usopp, Frankie, Robin, and Zoro, and they're all discussing, and so they're saying that the Wano country is now run by the shogun, who is called Kurozumi Orochi. So I looked up the name Kurozumi, and it's a Japanese religion. I won't go too much into it because like it's not important. Well, it might be important. I don't know. It might be like a theory video type thing to go, but like it just talks about like the the praying to like different gods and the practices of the religion and that stuff. So I thought it was kind of interesting that it's that name Kurozumi is derived from a Japanese like religion. Okay, so then the name Orochi is there's a Japanese legend called Yamata no Orochi, or the eight-branched giant snake, or just Orochi, is a legendary eight-headed and eight-tailed Japanese dragon. So this is really cool because we know that Kinemon, that Kanjuro, and that Momonosuke, they all have like something against dragons. Especially like when it turned out that Kinemon like ate like a dragon fruit. Or not Kinemon, Momonosuke. And so this, I think, is just like a more of a confirmation that the shogun who killed Momonosuke's father, like Kozuki Oden, he has like a dragon fruit. So meaning I don't think Kaido is going to have like a dragon fruit or anything like that. But yeah, so that name pattern is pretty interesting. To have a religion and a legendary eight-headed dragon. So yeah, I just think that's really cool. Something that was interesting is that we don't see Law in this little like meeting in this like rundown like building where Kinemon and everyone else is sitting. But Kinemon is basically saying, all right guys, like we need more time to build up the forces. So in that meantime, let's just be as quiet as possible and let's not make a scene. So then myself, along with I'm assuming like everybody else, immediately thought, okay, if Kinemon is directly saying, "Don't make a scene," and we have yet to see Zoro, Zoro is definitely gonna make a scene. Like he's definitely gonna, um, he just has a habit. In Sabahodi, Zoro is almost like he's oblivious to these type of things. But I wouldn't say he's oblivious here. It's more that he's trying, but it's there's like certain things of like defending honor. And so I think that Zoro was walking around with Shusui. Well, I should let's talk about what's happening. So um Zoro is being accused of being a street murderer and also a grave robber because 23 years ago, the legendary swordsman of Wano, Ryuma, his grave was robbed, and the legendary sword Shusui was stolen. So, and Zoro's like little Wano name is Zoro Joro. He is a Ronin, which is like a wandering samurai, like a lawless samurai. Um, so these government officials, these Wano officials, are inspecting like the this legendary blade, and this guy is this like this. You can just tell he's scum. Like he's holding Shusui. He's like, wow, like Shusui. He's like drawing the blade. He's like, wow, like look at the blade. Like you can. It's amazing that it's now in my hands. And it's like, dude, shut up. Like just whatever. So these guys give Zoro like this Seppuku blade, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but who cares? It's whatever. Seppuku is like the whenever you dishonor yourself, you can take your own life. You stab yourself like in the gut, and you basically are committing like honorable suicide. Um, so it's a very small, tiny blade, and Zoro's like, okay, like this doesn't have a hilt. Like, what's this? Blah blah. Um, so he's acting like he's gonna go with it. He's taking off like he's disrobing and all that stuff. Then all of a sudden, dude, he just like does one quick like little like almost like a 180 slash, cuts the building like it's paper. Like dude, like if you just look at the like I'm assuming this is like a courthouse or something like a military, not military, but like a police station type thing. He just slices it like it's paper, dude, and slices that one guy perfectly across the chest. Um, he's saying that you're the one who smells like blood, and that you're the culprit to the guy who's holding the Shisui and like who was accusing him. Um, so he did this. He does this with like a seppuku blade, which is very short, and immediately you think of Zoro's fight with Mihawk. Like Mihawk using like the his little necklace knife. This blade is I would say a lot longer than that necklace knife, but still it's super cool that he's able to do this with this tiny blade. I mean, like, yeah, just imagine what he could do now if he has like I mean, you saw like him slicing the massive ship in the beginning of like the return to Sabaody, but yeah, dude, like, so Zoro's all like he's sorry to Kinemon, that like he's made a scene now, but yeah, this is just like so hype, and like what a way, dude, like there's no better way to start an arc than having Zoro do something extremely hype. Um, it's so cool. So there's a lot of talk about what's gonna happen with the Blade Shusui, um, because of like its significance. Like that's one thing that has always been on the radar when we've heard about Wano. And yeah, I think that's gonna be like a big factor. And I think it is funny of Zoro to like be walking around with Shusui. Um, he probably just did not feel comfortable walking, like not having all three swords on him. Um, but yeah, so I mean, so I guess Zoro is just going to be on the run a little bit more. Um, and just kind of hiding out, being a fugitive, which I mean he's best at. You know, he doesn't follow the rules. He's a pirate. We don't play by the rules. Um, but yeah, man, Wano. I love the way that the page flows. You know, we have the woman playing those like traditional like Japanese like guitar things. It reminds me of, if you guys have ever seen like Samurai Champloo, like, you know, they play that a lot of the time. Um, and so we see her like playing it, and like I picture it like, you know, being like the dun 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 done, and like when we see like the cherry blossoms, the sakura flower petals, like falling, and as it's falling, like we hear like um the chords, like it looks like it's almost like, you know, hitting it like a climax. She's going faster. She's like dun 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 dun, and then, you know, he does that slice, and oh man, dude, just the way that it's, you know, we see all the people, they're like sticking their tongues out, their eyes are like all gouged out. It's just awesome. Like the way that this is, the way the panels are laid out. It's beautiful. Um, yeah, I just love it. If this is like the beginning of Wano, I'm I'm all in. You know, we've all been waiting for Wano for so long. I hope we cut back to Reverie a little bit, but um, yeah, I think this is a great chapter. You know, I think Zoro's going to be on the run. Hopefully next week, if we are in Wano, we get to see what Law and the Heart Pirates have been up to, or what Kinemon and Kanjuro and Ryza, what they've kind of been doing in the shadows. Because I'm sure that they are, you know, they can't be walking around because they're like wanted. You know, well, Kinemon probably made like some disguises or something like that. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked the video. Dislike the video if you dislike the video. Subscribe if you guys want more One Piece talk. I might be coming out with a expectations for Wano. I don't think it's too late yet, because like this is just like the very beginning. But yeah, that might be coming out. So wait, like subscribe if you guys want to see more of those type of videos. But anyway, great chapter. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon.